Well, good evening. Uh, I'm just coming on tonight to express my dissatisfaction regarding all the lies from the Democratic or Democrat Deportation Party, because the Democrats are the party of deportations, and I see all this some ignorance, some both ignorance and ill-intended, and to complicate matters, also misleaders who want to blame now the lines or whichever they want to call regarding the undocumented immigrants and so on in their problems that they are facing, trying to come into this country without documentation, without medical exams, and so on, as it has been customary in the past. If you wanted to immigrate to the United States, like any other country, you had to have some medical exams, you had to file your paperwork. We have to know what's your background. Are you a criminal? What did you do in your country before letting you in here so you can come here and maybe be a productive citizen or be a criminal? So this is the situation. Now we have all these liars or liar ignorant misleaders who want to blame the Trump administration for what's happening today with the undocumented and so on. And I see them on the hijacked media, the fake news as they are called, which is worse than that, because the fake news is not just fake news. The fake news is a cancer in the media, nationwide media. It's a cancer that is directed by the ill-intended millionaires, owners of television stations and communication organizations and so on, that have been hijacked in the United States to destroy the image of those who oppose or will not stand to allow them to make this a country, a socialist country, like they did in Cuba, in Nicaragua, in Venezuela, and so on. What do you think is the first thing that they have done in those countries? Well, they take over the media. In Nicaragua, the Ortega brothers, they own all the newspapers and radio and television. What happened in Venezuela? Well, they first took over some of the newspapers, the media, etc., etc. Chavez, criminal Chavez, who directed a coup that cost many lives, originally served 10 years, and then became the president of Venezuela, because the ignorant Venezuelans voted him into the government. Then now we got Maduro, which is a podrido, because he's a rotten Maduro no longer. So anyway, the same as is happening in Cuba. The media, the newspapers, I remember Bohemia, one of the most read magazines in Cuba, called Bohemia. The director, I think his name was Sergio Carbó. He published a lot of lies and misleading information and so on regarding the president of Batista, the president Fulgencio Batista Saldívar, the president of Cuba before Fidel Castro, and that turned the communities, the citizens of the country against the government, believing all the lies, the same as they are doing here, because that's what's being done here, and it's being done for years. And when you do this for years, what happens is lies become truth. So people believe what they read every day and they see on television and the news and so on and so forth. But the real fact is that the party of deportation is the Democratic Party. If you look, don't take my word, go on YouTube. How can the 8 years of President Clinton and the 8 years of President Obama and their failed promises, not failed, ill-intended promises of immigration, fair immigration legislation in the first 100 days of the Biden-Obama deportees in chief, they imprisoned more than 4 million undocumented who lived in this country and had children born in this country already, and deported 3 million during the 8 years of the Obama administration, and lost papers, delayed, had the lousy execution of the immigration ICE departments and during the Clinton administration. But if you go on the Obama administration, go in the YouTube and look back, President Clinton, how he ill-intended, bad-mouthed, lied, said that, and I quote, "We have to do mass deportation. Undocumented are destroying the nation. We have to stop them from using social services, and we have to build a wall." That was the Clinton administration agenda regarding immigration, 1995 address to Congress. It's in YouTube. Go look. Pelosi, bad-mouthing the undocumented. Schumer, bad-mouthing the undocumented. Obama, Hillary, they all talked ill. They were ill-intended about immigration. I spoke with President Clinton at the Biltmore Hotel in Miami a few years ago, that he came to give a speech at the Biltmore Hotel, and I asked him, what happened with TPS for the Haitians that so well deserve it, with all the misery and the problems, the political problems, and the ravages of the bad weather and storms and things that had gone there. And he told me, that was when Obama was president, and he told me, well, I'm on my way to Haiti right now when I leave the conference here. And, this is the problem, that Hillary didn't get elected. If Hillary had gotten elected, we wouldn't have these problems. So he was bad-mouthing Obama about Obama's legacy being the deporter-in-chief with Biden. And Clinton did the same thing. If you look on YouTube, please. Go on YouTube. How could Clinton, 8 years, and Obama, 8 years, 16 years, in the last quarter century of their governments, how could have then passed any immigration legislation if they were deporting millions of undocumented who had already been settled here, who should have been processed, who should have received some sort of amnesty like did President Reagan, that legalized 3.5 million that turned into about 5 million in 1986. I was there. I know. And I know about this because I participated in all this. And I marched in Washington, and I peaceful marches in Miami, peaceful march in Los Angeles, and so on, because I believe that our undocumented, already residing in this country, deserved better. But how could Clinton, the party of deportation, the Democrats, Obama, Hillary, Biden, they all bad-mouth? It's there on YouTube. Look it up. Do your research. It's very simple. Just go on YouTube. Look at what Obama said about the undocumented. Look at what Clinton said, that we had to do mass deportations. That was Clinton. What did Obama do? Mass deportation, because Clinton set the agenda for the Democrats for the next 25 years back in 1995. Okay, he's the father of the wall. He started building the wall. Who do you think built all the camps, the concentration camps, the cages, what they call the refrigerators that used to stick women in there? I know, on the border, McAllen, Corpus Christi, Harlingen, Brownsville, San Benito, San Diego, Tijuana, Calexico, Mexicali, Yuma. Please, I've been all through the border. I know, I've been there. And I was immigration chair for the Community Relations Board for Miami-Dade County many times for many years. So I know I've been to Tallahassee, I've lobbied in Washington, and so on. Democrats, deporters in chief, the party of deportations. They are criminals, liars, misleaders. And then you have all these other ignorant liars, also co-conspirators. They have all bad mouthed and documented. How could they say they were going to they're going to pass legislation for immigration when they are fork-tongued? They are talking on both sides of their mouth. Liars. Democrats are the party of deportations. They invented the cages, the camps. You know what? A prison, an immigration retention center, cost about $350 to $400 million. Then they give it to what? They give it to a private security company to run it. Okay? You know how much it costs the taxpayers? Okay? They cost each undocumented alien immigrant who is in prison costs us about $450 a day, because you got uniforms, you got bed clothes, you have medical services, security services, electricity, etc., all the services. We better house him in the Hilton Hotel. But you know, that's what it costs. When you got, imagine what it is, $450 a day if you have 1,000 people in prison because they are here undocumented. Okay? That's what taxpayers have been paying. 8 years of Clinton, 8 years of Obama. Don't lie. Come on. Joe, you're the co-host with Obama of deportations. 3 million families, children left alone, separated from their parents. Call me. I'll give you some information. I don't have enough time to do this. It's been too long. Thank you. God bless you. Good night.